You've officially been fluffed. Hey y'all, it's your girl, the real D Beats, and you've reached a podcast where you will fluff around and find out. So today, our topic for the podcast is going to be trauma bonds. Whether it's a childhood trauma bond, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, family ship, whatever ship you want to call it, but they're all trauma bonds. And you know, we don't realize a lot of these trauma bonds, it starts from kids. When we first start getting friends, family, you know, when we get acquainted with different people, associates, you can build trauma bonds, and people don't really realize that. So we're here today to talk more about these different trauma bonds that take place. And y'all know us, we don't just stand here and talk, we be cooking and stuff. So I'm doing something simple tonight. I'm frying some chicken wings and some fries, baby. That's all I'm doing tonight. Could we put the little knobs on and turn the grease on? Y'all, yeah. Y'all, today I'm using vegetable oil. I usually use canola oil, but since we had snow last week, you know, Atlanta shuts down when it snows. Georgia shuts down, so they haven't had a lot of stuff that we needed. So that's that. But y'all, we have a lot of questions and answers that we're going to talk about today surrounding this topic. And, you know, I just want y'all to stay tuned, hear us out. Some of it I have to make breakdowns to Kalia because, you know, she's still a child. She's still learning about these different bonds, you know, so. The first question, Kalia, the first question, did you ever feel like you had to walk on eggshells around a friend? If so, why? Don't name no names, but yeah, walk around on eggshells, meaning like, have you ever had to like you're afraid you're gonna step on somebody's toes, or like you wasn't comfortable with being their friend?
It was just one person. It was just one person.
And what happened?
She just. Well, I wouldn't say I wasn't comfortable, but she was a fake person. I can't say that.
So why you felt like you had to walk on eggshells around her?
She's messy. She tell people business.
So you pretty much couldn't trust her.
Yeah, I couldn't trust her.
You couldn't trust her with being your friend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not a friend. And
We're not friends now. Like, me and my other friend, we don't like her. Cause you know my other friend, they became friends in 3rd grade. They knew each other for a while. And Mariah told me about her. And we became friends in 2023. And then
remember, you can't name people. One of your friends told you about it, and
yep. One of my friends told me about it. We became friends, and then when I got to see her, like when I got to know her more, and like see her attitude more, I was just like, no, I don't like her no more. And she said something about my friend business, and she told people that I was not supposed to know. So me and my friend stopped being friends with her, and now we don't like her.
Wash your hands real quick. Yeah, so y'all, I've had a trauma bond. I've had a few trauma bonds, like when it comes to walking on eggshells. And those people I had to walk on eggshells around, we're not friends to this day. Like, we're cordial, but we're not friends to this day. Like, I've had a friend where, like, I don't know, I was never comfortable. It was always something, and when you feel like you can't be comfortable around somebody, that's a sign of trauma. Why are we here? Why are we doing this? You have to be able to recognize those things, but as kids, we're not able to always recognize that until, you know, it's too late, or we go all these years not realizing that's what we've had to do throughout our friendships, you know? So, I don't know. But the next question, did a friend frequently switch between being very supportive and then suddenly critical or dismissive to you? So did you ever have a friend that was like, very supportive of you and the things you want to do. Y'all remember when I'm cooking, that smoke detector love to go off. I ain't even started cooking yet and it's already going off. So did you ever have a friend like that?
The same
that
girl
was supportive, and then next thing you know, they're dismissive. They don't care what you got going on.
The same girl that I was just talking about. Her.
So what happened?
She don't care about nothing.
She don't care about herself, or like, have you brought up something to her about what you would want to do, and she hasn't? Like, she's just like, I don't care. Is that the type of situation it was, or?
Yep. Doesn't care about nothing.
And, you know, I've had some friends. Well, me and her were cordial. It's a tough situation, honestly, but she wasn't supportive. It was always about her and her relationships with men. It was never really about me. When it was time for me and things I went through or things I wanted to talk to her about that I couldn't go to other people about, she was dismissive. She didn't give a damn. All she cared about was her and what she had going on. And that changed the dynamic of our friendship to this day, honestly. It helped me understand what I was looking for in a friend and what I wasn't looking for. So I learned a lot. And just because, you know, you find out those different things about your friends, it don't mean you have to cut them off completely or beef with them because of that. You just learn how to handle them, you know. There we go again. Miss Mamas be beeping. We got to name this beeper. We got to give her a name because she is disrespectful. Start opening that chicken. Start putting some here. Put like 5. Put like 6 in them, and then shake it around. Okay, so for the next question, did you feel like you couldn't share certain things with a friend because you feared their reaction? No. No. Why not?
Because I do share things with them, but I do share things with them, but not.
But when you share things, do you ever fear how they're going to react to what you tell them, or if they're going to, you know, how do you feel? Do you ever fear anything?
No.
The reaction?
No, I don't care about the reaction.
And see, that's always been me. I've never feared. I'm very transparent. I've never feared telling my friends, you know, anything. Now, I've picked and chose which friends I tell certain things to because some people talk your business a lot. And so I've been very selective on certain things that I discuss with certain friends. So it's not always like fearing any reaction. It's just like just knowing who to turn to. And if you can't turn to that friend, if you fear their reaction to anything, that's a sign of trauma in that relationship. No, Dior. No, we doing this. Go upstairs with your daddy. Go that way. Go get your tablet. We doing stuff. Don't come in here. Okay, so Khalil, the next one. Did you ever feel trapped in a friendship where you didn't feel comfortable saying no?
No.
And see, me, I've never, like, the only time I wasn't comfortable saying no was with my mama, because I know if I told her no, I was going to get my ass slapped. So I wouldn't say that was trauma. That was more so just respect, honestly, because I know I had to get that shit done. So with friendships, I've always been comfortable with saying no. Like, nobody can't make me do nothing I don't want to do. So relationships, I've had times where I wanted to say no, but I really didn't give an answer because I was in a very toxic relationship before. And I'm actually, because I'm cooking, y'all, and washing my hands. But it wasn't that I wasn't comfortable saying no. It's just because I know the drama that came behind it, and I didn't want to deal with that, you know? So it was a lot. it's definitely a lot, and that's a big trauma. Now that right there will affect you a lot because it'll make you change who you are, and you never want to change who you are because of a situation. So I've been there, but I've grown past it, and I know when I want to say no, and I'm gonna say it whether it causes problems or not. It's just time for that chapter to close. Khalil, did you often try to fix or please a friend even when they were hurtful? Like, have you ever tried to please a friend? Like, for instance, here's an example. They talk about you, and then you still try to, like, be their friend. Like, let me fix this. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. Have you ever been in that type of situation?
No.
Yeah, me neither, really, honestly. Because if you hurtful, you're not my friend. And that's just that. Like, why would I try to fix something that's broken? I've just never been like an ass kisser. That's the easiest way to say it. Like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Okay, so for the next one, Khalil, do you remember feeling anxious or worried about your friend's mood swings?
No.
Me, my mood swing with yours, baby. So I've never, but me and my friends, we pretty much always read each other. Like, anybody I've ever been affiliated with, whether it be my friend, associate, anything, we pretty much go flow for flow, honestly. Like, no, if you got attitude, bitch, I do too. So what I say, Khalil, attitude. Now walk up. Go show your daddy. Dior coming back with this mess, knowing reading his doing his videos. Khalil, did you ever feel like you had to hide aspects of yourself to maintain a friendship? Meaning, like, have you ever had to hide things about yourself because you felt like you would lose a friend, or like, you know, you had to hide it for your friendship, pretty much? Have you ever had that happen?
No, because I don't tell people my business.
Huh?
I said no because I don't tell people my business.
So do you feel like that's you hiding stuff, or why don't you tell people your business? Do you feel like that's going to affect the friendship, or what?
It's not going to affect the friendship, or it's not going to let me lose the friendship.
Talk about people going to talk about.
I don't know.
I've never really heard anything about myself, honestly. Like, I'm an open book. My friends pretty much know everything I want them to know. Close it. That's why I hate when, like, close it. That's why I hate when, like, people that want to be nosy find themselves trying to ask me stuff about me when I, like, if I wanted you to know, I would have told you, because I'm an open book. So, if you ever have to, like, hide certain things about yourself, that's not a friendship. It really ain't. That's not someone you can trust. So we're going to talk about emotional manipulation. Did your friend often make you feel responsible for their emotions? Like, if they're sad, like, emotional manipulation. Did your friend, any of your friends or someone close to you, often make you feel responsible for their emotions? Like, if they're sad, if you just felt like you had to make them happy, or you had to make sure, you know, you had to.
Because, I don't want to say it on here, but
just don't say their name. Just talk about it, but don't say their name.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I don't want to say why.
Just talk about it. You don't have to call details. Alexa, how long on the timer?
It was one person, she was crying because
Alexa, set timer.
She said that she wanted to do something that I can't say. And I'm really sad because I don't want her to think that way. So And there was another friend. She came to school because she was real sad because her sister passed away by
But did you feel responsible for her emotions? Like, did she make you? Do you have friends that have made you feel responsible for their emotions? Like, you just felt like it was all on you. Like, for instance, with me, like,
no.
I've never really dealt with anyone that made me. Well, yeah, I had an ex. You know, out of nowhere he would just spaz out, or out of nowhere he would just be angry, and I would feel like, oh, I have to do something to make him happy again. When it wasn't even my fault that he was angry. It was his own trauma and his own battles that he was going through. But yet it made me feel like I was responsible for making him cheer up. That's trauma. Because why should you hold me responsible to make you happy again? Like, I owe you some parts, but I shouldn't be beating myself up because that's how you decide to handle yourself. So that's an example of, like, when I say, have you ever felt responsible for, like, somebody's emotions? So the next one, did they use guilt trips or threats to control your behavior? Have you ever had a friend or anybody, a family member, that use something that you did and say, oh, I'm gonna hold this against you. I'm gonna tell it if you know, pretty much, I'm gonna tell this if you don't do this, or I'm gonna tell this if you don't, to control who you are. Have you ever run into something like that, where somebody tries to control you based off of something they know that you don't want told?
No.
Never? Now, probably as kids, that's something me and my siblings did. Like, if one of us did something we want my mama to find out about, we'll hold it to you. Like, oh, I'm going to tell this if you don't do this. So, that's another sign of trauma.
Well, yeah,
we built that type of trauma in our sibling circle.
Yeah, that has happened with me and my siblings, but I did it to them. I said that it has happened with one of my siblings, but they didn't do it to me. I did it to them.
Oh, so you did it to them. So you know what that's doing? Just what we just talked about. Hold on, y'all. This damn smoke detector. So that's doing just what we just. This is a prime example. She says she do it to her siblings. They don't do it to her. So she's the oldest. So you're the oldest. So you're teaching that trauma.
One of my siblings.
You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, but still, you're teaching that trauma of using guilt to control somebody's behavior, control your sibling's behavior. So that's gonna be something he's gonna do too.
You want them controlling their behavior?
Like, oh, I'm gonna tell you if you don't do this. Like, you control their behavior, making them do stuff for you to control what they're gonna do. Yeah, I'm about to burn my food, trying to talk. Okay, so in trauma bonds, we're going to now talk about power dynamics. The first question, Callie, did you feel like you had to constantly cater to your friends or anyone around you needs? Did you ever feel like you had to cater to them, like be on hands and knees for them, like doing stuff?
No.
Yeah, me neither. But if you have, that's trauma. Have you ever had a friendship where someone made the most decisions in the friendship?
No.
I did, but I shut it down a lot. Like, you ain't making no decisions for me, for we. You make decisions for you, and I make decisions for me. And that's just how it's going to be. Point blank, period. Now we're going to talk about isolation and trauma bonds. Did you ever have a friend discourage you from spending time with other people? Like, made you feel like you should only spend time with them and nobody else, none of your other friends?
Well, no, but both of my friends did get into an argument because One of my friends did get into an argument because of that, because one of my friends had, she was hanging out, like she was mad because my other friend was hanging out with other people and stuff, and she did not want her to be hanging out with other people, but I never went to that.
And what was the question again? What was the question again?
Have someone ever like?
Oh, I gotta look at the question again, y'all. Trying to cook and do this at the same time. Boy, it's a lot. Okay, so did you feel like you had to constantly cater to? Oh no, that's not it. Hold on. Did you ever have a friend that discouraged you from spending time with other people? Oh yeah, I've had that happen, and you know what? I've always just dealt with it the way I dealt with it. Like, you're not gonna stop me from having other friends. That's just that. That's how it's gonna be. We're not gonna do none of that. You're not my only relationship that I'm gonna have. So I've had that happen. I've never had it happen like in a relationship, but definitely friendship. But I'm a very outgoing person. People cling to me. You're not gonna change who I am because you want me all to yourself. No, we're not gonna do that. And that's trauma, because that's making you isolate yourself from other people. That's isolation. Have your friends ever criticized your other friends that you have?
No.
I've had friends that criticize my other friends, and like this one girl I used to take up for her so much, and we were locked in, baby. And I used to take up for her. Anytime somebody had something to say about her, I took up for her with everything in me. And so that has happened, and not realizing that's an isolation trauma bond. Have you ever felt like you had to choose between your friends?
No. Cause like,
so when that fight happened on your bus, you didn't feel like you had to choose between your friends?
No, because I can be friends with them both. Cause they that too.
Yeah, see me? I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I had to choose between friends. That's just that. I don't think I ever had to. But if you suspect you experienced a trauma bond in childhood, adulthood, teenhood, any hood, your hood, consider speaking with a therapist to process everything. You know, you never know that you've experienced trauma unless you sit back and think back on these small things that we talked about. It's things this small that we just talked about today that can affect you with trauma. You know, that you've never known that caused trauma in your life. So, you know, with these experiences, develop coping mechanisms, different things. So if you feel like this has happened to you, any of these topics you can say yes to, do things to cope with it. Get a therapist, get help, you know, anything. You never know what builds up to, what trauma has built you up to today. It could be the smallest thing. Y'all, my food by the burn, so I'm gonna get off here. But it was fun, you know. We want to keep these topics going. If y'all ever think about any topics y'all want us to talk about, let us know. You got anything to say?
Just don't let nobody control your life.
Yeah, and guess what, y'all? You have reached the podcast, and at the end of this podcast, let's fluff around and find out.